A very good evening. You're watching News 9 with me, Akshita. And first up, 5 miscreants tried their best to get away from trouble, with one of them claiming to be former Union Minister S.M. Krishna's grandson. The 5 friends were arrested for rash driving near Taj Hotel on Racecourse Road. It is understood that the 5 were driving rashly in 3 separate cars, one of which was a Jaguar and another a Porsche. When cops stopped to question them, one of them allegedly told the police that he was the grandson of S.M. Krishna. But after the controversy broke out, S.M. Krishna himself clarified, saying that the boy was not his grandson and that his grandchildren were in London and the US. Well, the boy you see on your screen clearly was trying to get out of trouble, but only landed himself in more trouble as he went on to take the name of veteran Congress leader S.M. Krishna, claiming to be his grandson. Now, soon after, the police even went on to question S.M. Krishna, who told him very clearly that his grandson was not here in Bengaluru. They were all in the US and London. But soon after, of course, once they cleared it up, they have gone ahead and filed a case against these friends. And besides that, they've also gone ahead and booked them each to pay up 900 rupees. Moving on, voices of dissent seem to be on the rise in the Congress post the defeat in the Lok Sabha polls. KPCC introspection meet stands testimony to the same.
2 names, 2 protestations. Saturday was an action-packed day for the age-old party. First came news of the former Defence Minister A.K. Antony raising voice against the party bosses. It was followed by another prominent leader, Digvijay Singh's take on the party's Vice President Rahul Gandhi. Cut now to the Bengaluru meet. The 2-day introspection meet began on Saturday, and it had some instances of dissent when loyalists of prominent Congress leader G. Parmeshwar demanded that their Neta be suitably accommodated. Sunday shocker. And as Bengalurians were trying to digest what exactly was happening in the party, Sunday had its dose of drama. Look at the man, waving his hand ferociously and protesting as a senior leader began to speak. The leader is not a newcomer or rookie. He is M.V. Rajashekaran, a veteran. Rajashekaran, a former union minister, was on the dais addressing the thousands of Congress supporters at Bengaluru's palace grounds when the man stood up. And soon there was more trouble brewing as more supporters started protesting. It is believed that the protesters wanted the party not to lose focus on the ordinary worker. The supporters were agitated that many of the leaders were not suitably accommodated by the incumbent Congress government led by Siddaramaiah. One could also hear a feeble request by Rajashekaran to maintain silence. And what made matters worse was that former Union small-scale Minister K.H. Muniapattu joined ranks with the supporters and gave a bit of tongue-lashing to the Congress top brass.
ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಮಿಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಲೋಕಲ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಮುನ್ಸಿಪಾಲಿಟಿ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ತಯಾರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಕಾತರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೋರ್ ಕಮಿಟಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಯಾಕೆ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಅವರೊಬ್ಬೊಬ್ರು ಬಂದು ಕೇಳಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ರೀ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೀವು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಿಗೆ ಗೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
Embarrassed, one could hear other supporters passionately tell the TV cameras not to focus on the Galata but on the leaders speaking on the dais. The embarrassment literally continued as none other than Digvijay Singh, the party's Karnataka in charge, made a plea telling that all those who wanted to speak would be given an opportunity to do so. Only time will tell whether the dissent will lead to changes in Congress or will these winds blow over. Sukesh for News 9, Bengaluru.
And well, a day after an 11-storied building collapsed in Chennai, rescue operations are still on to rescue the trapped victims from under the debris. Here's a look as to what happened today.
Rescue operations still underway in Chennai. Over 40 still feared trapped. The death toll in the Chennai building mishap rose to 11 this morning when 4 more bodies were recovered by rescuers. Even as rescue operations were underway, several family members of the victims trapped inside were seen helplessly crying for their dear ones. Around 400 SDRF and NDRF personnel are working to rescue the ones who are still feared trapped under the debris. Several cranes, winches and JCBs are being used to clear the debris. More than 20 people were rescued in the early hours of the day and many more are yet to be rescued. The exact number of people who are trapped is not known, but it is suspected that approximately 47 people are battling for life under the debris. According to NDRF officials, it might probably take another 2 to 3 days to clear the debris. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha visited the spot and ordered for a high-level probe into the matter and is assured that action will be taken against the errant builders.
That the building plans that were approved were not strictly adhered to by the builders. There was nothing wrong with the plans that were submitted for approval, but the builders knowingly committed many violations and did not adhere to the plans that were approved. There appears to have been a serious structural defect.
On the other hand, PWD officials will also conduct a parallel probe into the matter. Minister of State for Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises, Pon Radhakrishnan, was the first among the ministers who visited the accident site today.
We are satisfied with the rescue operations. If needed, we will give more assistance for the state government. First, we have to see the state government's operations and what they are going to do. After that, we will decide. The central government will decide after that.
MDMK Chief Vaiko and Additional Principal Secretary of State Relief Commission, Sridharan, also visited the site.
A thorough probe is to be ordered. How the permission was given to how the MMDA officials gave the permission, whether the guidelines were properly implemented or violated, and in this marshy ground, proper foundation was not laid. A probe should be conducted to find out, and the guilty should be punished.
The first task is to rescue the trapped persons, and based on the instructions of the Honorable Chief Minister, several ministers, senior officers like me, the Additional Commissioner, District Collector, we are all gathered here. The National Disaster Response Force, State Disaster Response Force, the Police Department, Fire Services Department, Revenue Department, the medical teams, ambulances, and also the private sector are cooperating with us. Till the last survivor is rescued, we will continue the rescue effort.
Apart from the ministers, Tamil Nadu DGP K. Ramanujam also visited the site. Ramanujam informed that 2 of the building owners and 1 engineer are arrested in connection to the incident so far. It is about time the errant officials and builders are penalized for their actions that have claimed lives and have put many more in danger. A News 9 report.